Am I the asshole for telling my pregnant DIL the world does not revolve around her? I, 54, and my husband, Rick, 57, have 3 kids. The oldest, Kurt, 29 male, is married to Becky, 28 female. She is normally a good DIL and I try to be a good MIL. We have had a pretty good relationship through the years. Issues have only popped up in the last few months since they are now expecting a baby in November. It is relevant to this situation that Kurt is technically my stepson, but I am the only mother he has known. Becky is becoming increasingly difficult. She expects everyone to bend to her will, because she is pregnant, or because she is the mother of our grandchild. Recently, Rick and Kurt were talking about our finances and Becky started making suggestions about what money we should start saving for our grandbaby. That same day, I served lunch. I made chicken for Becky because she isn't eating cold cuts. She made a few comments about the cold cuts that she didn't have to eat. She also made a few comments about the wine we served. She does not want Kurt drinking while she is pregnant, but he didn't agree to this. My husband and I have a second home that we just redid, knocked down the original. The new home has 3 floors, first bedrooms, hangout space, second middle living and master, third bedrooms. This had been in the works for years, so our kids are very excited to all go this summer. We are all set to go for our first trip in July. The issue that came up is that my 2 other kids, Tim and Cassie, 23M, 21F, plan to have fun on this trip, which includes having some friends to the house a few times, amusement park, scuba diving, going out. When Becky and Kurt were over last weekend, T&C were talking about their plans and Becky got upset saying that because she is pregnant, this trip shouldn't be all about drinking. It's not, but we aren't banning alcohol from the house. She also said that next year's trip will not include any get-togethers because she will have a small child. Tim just told her not to worry because she doesn't have to participate in any of the fun. Becky called me and said that she was upset about the plans. She said we needed to respect the fact she can't participate in all of the activities we are planning. I told her that there were plenty of things she can participate in and not worry about what the other kids were doing. She then said she really thinks I should limit the drinking and parties. I informed her that I have no intention of limiting anything since this is their vacation as well and these activities can take place on the back deck. I told her she can have the bedroom upstairs in the front so that she will not be bothered, but she was mad she would have to walk up all the steps. She also accused me of caring less because Kurt is not my son. Not true. At the end of our talk, I told her could get a rental to have their own space, but she accused me of trying to exclude her. I reminded her she spent many nights out drinking when she was their age and that the world can't revolve around her just because she is pregnant. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. She sounds like the type that thinks expectant mothers should be able to park in handicapped spaces. Oh, she's gonna be a handful. NTA, your DIL is turning into an entitled mother before she even has the kid. Info. Have you talked to Kurt about this? Really? This, I can't drink so nobody should, or, I can't go on the roller coaster so nobody should translates into, there should only be activities that I can do or want to do. Nope. Just nope. Good for you for saying something before she gets a chance to ruin everyone's vacation. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Her being pregnant truly doesn't and shouldn't dictate what anyone else can do. It sounds like you've tried to be accommodating to the best of your ability based on what you've said. You're not the asshole because it sounds like a much-needed reality check. Pregnancy isn't an excuse to constantly criticize or to demand others adhere to all their demands. She's gone way out of line with her behavior. You're being more than accommodating and have been more than reasonable. Not the asshole. Yeah, Becky knew going in that there were going to be things she would be limited in doing by virtue of being pregnant. That was her choice. The entitlement to believe that she can dictate what other people do is bullshit. Not the asshole. This year it's pregnancy, next year is small child. This is just going to continue. Pregnant ladies are around people drinking and doing stuff all the time. She's not that special. Info. Are there any things she can actually do on the trip? She's definitely being a wet noodle. But you mention going out, I'm assuming drinking, amusement parks, pregnant ladies can't ride roller coasters and being dragged around in the hot sun while missing out on the fun sounds shitty, and scuba diving, again, not prego friendly. It just seems like there really isn't for anything for her to do other than sit around sober while everyone else is having fun. Sure, she doesn't need to do everything, but it doesn't really sound like there's anything fun planned that she can be included in. Not the asshole. It's not her vacation, it's a family vacation for your family at your house. Everyone does not need to participate in every activity. She doesn't need to be involved in every activity and can't dictate what everyone else does for their entertainment on a family vacation. You are trying to be accommodating while all she is being very rigid and wants to control what everyone else does. Sounds like she had her fun and now thinks she can't participate, so doesn't want anyone else doing the same activities she used to. Nah. You sound like you're a great mother-in-law. But it sounds like Becky isn't coping well with how her life is gonna change, and to be honest, it sounds like her hubby isn't the most supportive. She's being entitled, but it sounds temporary. Hopefully she'll get over it soon. Incidentally, I am the sole child-free person amongst a group of friends. Whenever one was pregnant, we only did things that were pregnancy-friendly. Because we wanted to spend time together. Food for thought. Not the arsehole, and of course she is being ridiculous with these demands. I will note, though, that winding up the discussion with "the world can't revolve round you" was a personal insult that you could have done better without. I've offered a lot of options for you to enjoy the vacation with the family. Ball's in your court now, ends the debate without making you any kind of villain. Not the arsehole. While I understand being upset that you can't participate in certain activities while pregnant, hello pregnancy hormones, that does not give them the right to police other people's activities or police others in a home they don't own. She sounds super entitled, and if she wants to throw a tantrum, then uninvite her. You are the arsehole. Reading deeper into this, it seems that Becky has flagged that you and your family have a bad relationship with alcohol. Kurt not being able to quit drinking to support his wife while she's pregnant is a huge red flag here. Your comments about her, usually being a good DIL, and serving cold cuts for lunch when she can't eat, then also don't sit right. How hard would it have been to make a meal that everyone could share? Spoiler, pretty damn easy. You've left out a lot of information in this post-op. Not the arsehole, but Becky is wrong about 3 things. 1. She will not have a small child. She and Kurt will have a small child. 2. She should not bar everyone else from having fun because she'll have a small child to take care of. She needs to make sure that Kurt does his share of parenting, which includes spending some of his time taking care of their small child so she can enjoy the vacation, too. He actually needs to step up to fatherhood long before the vacation. If she will be a SAHM, naturally more of the load will fall on her. But that doesn't mean that 100% falls on her. He should at least be able to feed, diaper and entertain the child for a few hours on his own. 3. The earth will still not revolve around her, Kurt and their child. You are not the arsehole. Also, you bring a stepmom really has no bearing here. You are his mom. Step is just irrelevant because you're not treating him differently at all. Becky is simply trying to cope with her life changing. She suddenly cannot participate in the fun activities because of her pregnancy, and she's jealous of it. But her being pregnant doesn't mean the world bends to her will. It means she owns the situation, embraces it and learns to live with the limitations. It's not negative unless she makes it negative. Which she is. Not the arsehole. Can't she just not go if she has a problem with all the activities? It doesn't sound like she even wants to be here. And it also sounds like she wants everyone around her to have to suffer just because she can't do certain things. I'm gonna go with Esh. Sure. She can't actually expect the whole family to not do anything for 9 months because she is pregnant. However, she is pregnant and I don't think you should have said what you said to her. I understand that she called you, but I think it would have been best if you talked to your son about it and said it to your son instead of her. Not the arsehole. I'm in awe of her entitlement and bitterness. There feels as if there is more to this story for me. Not the arsehole. It almost seems like there's some underlying issues here that need to be addressed though. How's your guys' relationship normally? Not the arsehole. But don't mention again that she is self-absorbed because of her pregnancy, which has an end date. She is simply self-absorbed, period. Not the arsehole. It sounds like you did your best to accommodate and explain things to someone who is being very, very difficult. I mean, you could have left out "the world doesn't revolve around her" comment. But, she shouldn't be so freaking difficult. Not the arsehole. She's acting like the entire family should revolve around her, and that's just absurd. She's pregnant, not the son. Not the arsehole. First, you don't have to save money for your grandchild. That's the baby's parents' responsibility. If you want to do it, that's nice of you, but that's not your obligation, and it's really demanding of her to be making suggestions about it. Now about the trip, she can't really expect 21 and 23-year-old to make all their vacation plans around her. As you said, she doesn't have to participate in the activities they are planning with their friends. I'm sure she and her husband would also plan activities just for the two of them. A family vacation doesn't mean you have to spend every single minute all of you together. Your younger kids just have to keep in mind there will be a pregnant lady and later a baby in the house when they have friends over, and be respectful of that. Alcohol seems to have come up a few times. While her husband doesn't have to refrain from drinking just because she can't, it would be nice if he did. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, and DIL is just being too much, and accusations of not loving husband as much because his step is one size she is. But maybe she's concerned about her husband's drinking around his siblings, and doesn't want to just come right out and say that. It's a ducking pandemic. Why does your other post say that you are a 31-year-old male? Not the arsehole, you're right, the world doesn't revolve around her. You planned a vacation with your family, you invited her. If she doesn't approve of what you'll be doing on the vacation, she doesn't have to come, or could even come and just doesn't have to participate in those activities. Not the arsehole. You sound absolutely amazing and she is very lucky to have a mill like you. Your kids are lucky too. I have a JYMIL and she is very much like you. Carry on. My only suggestion: ask Becky and Kurt together which bedroom they would prefer. The ground floor, which is less stairs, but noisier, or the upper floor, which is quieter but more stairs. That takes away her only valid complaint, having to climb stairs while pregnant. That way you are giving him the option. Not the arsehole. Maybe she feels somewhat depressed about seeing how her life is changing. She was expecting maybe to be a happy mom-to-be and now find herself missing out on stuff she likes. It can be hard to some PPL. For you guys, I don't think you should adapt yourselves, and that she must learn the life lesson that sometimes you are missing out because of important reasons. But honestly, her husband should support her. If he knows how much she is struggling with the changes, then I don't see why he can't hold down the alcohol for a few months. Technically he is allowed to drink and she can't blame him, but then there is also the, what's is the nice thing to do, and that's not to drink. Not the arsehole. That being said, I'm getting the sense that these rules are coming from a place of being a scared first-time mother. There's absolutely no reason why she couldn't join things, especially next year. Just because someone has a baby doesn't mean they need to stop having fun, they just need to be thoughtful and responsible. It's hard to understand that before the child arrives and you realize what is and isn't manageable. Keep firm on your rules and boundaries, but also reassure her that recreation is still possible even with a child. Info. Does Kurt have a drinking problem? She shouldn't expect the trip to revolve around her, but you shouldn't have gatherings with a pregnant woman in the household during COVID. Expect her to go upstairs. SPD can be a real issue, and you didn't mention a single thing she could do with the family during the trip. Not the arsehole. How does Kurt get after drinking? Some men can't hold their drinks and get weird in different ways that the wife feels unsafe. If he's not a good drunk or is irresponsible or too much drama, then she's right to ask him to drink less or not at all. If she has had some trauma related to drinking, maybe a parent or close family, which maybe now gives her anxiety, it would show up as controlling behavior before she's able to address it. I would recommend talking to her about this anxiety and not putting it down to just her entitled drama. Info. Some of your points against her are real pregnancy concerns. We cannot eat cold cuts due to risk. We cannot drink alcohol, and many women prefer their spouse not to drink as well during this time, as it is considered equal hardship of bearing the child. Because you used these two very real things on a way to frame her as demanding, there is probably more to this story. Not the arsehole. You're already taking her and her pregnancy into consideration, but, as you were saying, the world doesn't revolve around her, and if others want to do something she isn't comfortable with, she doesn't have to participate. Same with drinking. Not the arsehole, but I don't like how you made her seem unreasonable even when she isn't, and she mostly is, so that wasn't necessary. You said she isn't eating cold cuts, like it's a choice and she's putting you out. Pregnant women aren't allowed to eat cold cuts. She doesn't have a choice, so it's not that she isn't eating cold cuts, is that she can't eat cold cuts. You also made it sound unreasonable that she might expect her husband not to drink during her pregnancy. I feel that is 100% reasonable, and quite frankly expected. To expect all of you to remain sober is obviously crazy though. Not the arsehole. The only one who needs to cater to her is Kurt. Not the arsehole. Not even close. You're handling it precisely how you should be handling it. She needs to understand immediately that, like you said, the world doesn't revolve around her just because she is pregnant, or else it will escalate when she has the baby. NTA. She's so entitled it's ridiculous. What kind of person wants to limit other people's fun because of a decision they made? Also, just because you can't drink doesn't mean you can't get involved. I'm generally the designated driver so I don't drink but I still have fun and join in everything. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Assuming the other children are biologically yours, you know firsthand that hormones are no excuse for entitled behavior. Not the asshole. It's just right that you put her in her place. And keep her there. If she can't go out, no one can. If she can't drink, no one can. What's next? Bedtimes, because if she can't stay up late, no one can. Limits on food, because if she can't eat fish, no one can. Oh, the cold cuts thing already happened. She is completely unreasonable. She is gonna use the kid as a weapon, mark my words. You don't comply with her terrorist demands, you will not see grandbaby. Not the asshole. Everyone sucks here. She's unreasonable in a lot of respects, but if these holidays are full of parties at the home every night, then it's unreasonable to expect someone with a small child to be okay with that. Kids need proper bedtimes and calm surroundings. She could obviously not come, but then why invite her if the situation will be untenable? If they're part of the family too, then surely their needs should be taken into account. While she's pregnant, it's not such an issue, although she may want to sleep undisturbed. Everyone should be able to go do the activities they like, but having lots of people over to the house you're all staying in is not really fair. Just to offer in my 2 cents. I have a 14-month-old baby, and as much as I adore him, I really struggled with pregnancy. I genuinely mourned for the life I was leaving behind and the life that I felt I would miss out on. My reality now isn't anything like what I thought it would be. I have discovered a new kind of fun, but at the time I was terrified of all of the parties etc. I was going to miss out on, and I became quite jealous. It might be that your DIL is being seemingly unreasonable because she thinks she's going to be left out. I can't even blame it on her being pregnant. As with her logic, she wants everybody around her to pretend they are pregnant and mirror what she can and cannot do. Sour grapes if it's that. Shameful she can't keep it to herself. Dictating next year's stuff too. Nope. Only answer is save yourself and pray to get through dealing with her. Not the asshole, but I think pregnancy is making her anxious and she needs to talk to someone. Honestly, this seems like it should be something she hashes out with her hubby. She needs to tell him that she's feeling like a lot of the activities won't include her, and he needs to tell her don't worry, we can go do fun stuff on our own. Beaches, picnic, boat rides, etc. So I'm not going to render a judgment because I have this weird nagging feeling. These types of posts you only get the one side. Could the DIL notice as an outside observer that the family are heavy drinkers and generally act in negative ways that the family either doesn't realize or refuse to admit? It is possible while pregnant doesn't want to be around loud, rowdy drunks. Not the asshole, but I'm going to go check out Just Normal to see if she posted about you. Lol.